Okay, guys, so today we are going to talk about reflections. So our objective is congruent parts of a polygon mapped to its congruent part under a reflection. Okay, so yesterday we talked about translations and how those were split. Today reflections are going to be a little bit different, but the shape still should be congruent. So here we go. The first thing we're going to watch is this Bitmoji link. So here we go. Maybe. There we go. All right. So we have two shapes. We have a blue one and we have a red one. That blue one moved from this side over to the other, and now it's on top of the red one. Okay, so if we reflect triangle ABC across the y-axis, what do you think happens? So this is my y-axis. I'll make a line for us. Hello. There we go. So we want to reflect it over that big purple line. Okay? What do you think is going to happen? So my shape is reflected. So if I look at C, C is here. If it's reflected over, I know that C is one away from my purple line, so I'm going to go one in the other direction. And now that is C prime. Make it red. Okay? So if we look at, let's go to B. I know B is 1, 2, 3 away from the purple line, so I'm going to go 3 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3. And there's B prime. And if we look at A, I know A is 1 away from the purple line, so I'm going to go 1 in the other direction. And now we have our triangle A prime, B prime, C prime that's been reflected over the y-axis. So describe what we did down below. So we took the shapes, the letters, and figured out the distance from the purple line, and they went that same distance in the other direction. Okay. All right, now over here, reflect triangle DEF across the x-axis. So the x-axis is that line. Okay, again, I'm going to make it purple. Just feeling the purple today. So we need to reflect this across the x-axis. All right, so I'm going to move these over here. Okay, if we're looking at D, I know D is 1, 2 away from the purple line. So I'm going to go 2 in the other direction. 1, 2. That's D. If I look at F, F is on the purple line. So it doesn't get reflected, it just stays there. And if I look at E, E is 1 away from the purple line, so I'm going to go 1 in the other direction. And there is our new shape. D prime, F prime, E prime. So down here, we basically did the same thing. We took the distance from the purple line. Uh-oh, I'm doing things. Okay, let's try this again. We took the distance from the purple line, and then we went the same direction, same distance in the other direction. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next two. We're going to reflect over the line y equals -1. So it's going to be the exact same thing. We're still going to look at that distance, but it's a different line this time. So we have y equals -1. So here's -1, or sorry, x. My goodness, x equals -1. So here is -1 on the x-axis. So I'm just going to draw a line that goes through that. And if you don't know where that line is, guess what? You can use Desmos, and it'll tell you where that line is. So we're going to reflect over. So I'm going to take my shapes. There's A, and I'm going to make it red. Okay? Okay, so what I have is the same thing, just a different line. Okay, so can you reflect A over to the other side, C over to the other side, and B over to the other side? Pause to do this, please. All right, I know A is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the green line, so I'm going to go 4 in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I know B is 1, 2, 3, 4 as well from y equals or x equals -1, so I'm gonna go 4 in the other direction. And that's too far. All right. And then C is 1 away, so I'm gonna go 1 in the other direction. And there we go. So now we have it across the line x equals -1. Okay, next is reflecting triangle EFG in the line y equals -4. So first I want you to draw where line y equals, oh, not -4, +4 is. It's not there, I'll tell you that. This is just me drawing lines. Hopefully, we are moving it up to here. Okay? So what we have to do is I'm going to take my dot from E, and I'm just going to reflect it again. Now I'm going to take my dot from F, and I'm going to reflect it again. And this time my dot from G. Okay, pause so you can do this. Okay, so E is 1 away from y equals 4, so I'm going to go 1 in the other direction. F is also 1 away from y equals 4, so I'm going to go 1 in the other direction. Now, G is on the bottom, or underneath y equals 4. So you're going to, again, still go in the other direction. Instead of going down, because we're not reflecting over here, we have to go across that line 1. So now G is up top. So E prime, G prime, and F prime. Okay, now here gets to some stuff that might be a little trickier for us, but it's actually not that bad. So instead of just reflecting over lines that are horizontal and vertical, we can also reflect over diagonal lines. And these lines are y equals x and y equals -x. Okay, so there are 2 options for you. I'm going to show you how to do this with the rules that you see here. Okay, but you can also take graph paper and then draw the line y equals x or y equals -x or whatever line they're telling you, and then fold that paper where the line is that you're reflecting over, and then you'll see your new points. Okay. So maybe I will post a video of folding paper to show you what I'm talking about. If you want to do it algebraically, if we have the line y equals x, let's say we didn't know what that line was. Well, we can go to Desmos and we can find it out. So if I didn't know what y equals x was, although it's on your paper, y equals x, there we go. There's our line. Okay. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Okay. Same with y equals -x. So we can do the same thing. Okay. So if we are doing y equals x, and that would be this line right here, all you have to do is switch your x and your y values. Okay. So for example, if A is at 1, 2, I'm going to switch them and make them 2, 1. Okay. So, and then B is at 1, 4. I'm going to switch them and make them 4, 1. Rid of all this. Okay. And then C is at -1, 2. So I'm going to make it 2, -1. And now we just plot those points. So go to my shapes. Here is A. It was at 1, 2. Now it's going to be at 2, 1. So that's there. And we'll make that green. B was at here at 1, 4. So now we're going to go 4, 1. So 4, 1 is right there. And C was at -1, +2. Now it's going to be at 2, -1. And there's my shape. Okay, it's flipped over. Here to here. It's probably not going to look that pretty, but that's okay. So there's my new triangle. Okay, so if you were to graph this on graph paper, fold it over this line, my shape would now be down below. Okay, and if you make your pencil marks heavy enough, then it should kind of transfer over. Okay, you can also use it with wax paper and plot your points on the wax paper, fold it over, oopsies, and it'll transfer over. Okay. All right. So now I want you to try y equals -x. The rule for y equals -x, you have your a and your b, so your x and your y values. Now you're going to switch them and change the signs. Okay. So try this one on your own. Okay. All right. So hopefully we have paused and we have done that. Let me color this green here. All right. So if f was at 1, 1, flipping those would be -1, -1. Right? If g was at 3, 1, it's now going to be -1, -3. My signs changed. Okay? So f moves to -1, -1, and g moves to -1, -3. And there is our new shape, or what we like to call the image. So f prime, g prime. Okay? All right. Last slide here, I want you to try these on your own. You're going to select the lines, okay, over y equals x and y equals -x. And try those, please. Pause the video so you can do this on your own. Okay, so I'm going to create some. Oh, I already have them, so we don't have to do that. 1, 2, 3. Oh no. Sorry about that. Okay. 1. Oh my goodness. We're going to move it over here. And move this one up here. Okay. So starting with the orange, I know that j is at -2, 1. So we're going to reflect it and just flip them. Okay. So instead of -2, 1, it's going to be at 1, -2. K was at 1, 3, so we're going to flip them and make them at 3, 1. Oh, wrong way. Not 3, 1, right there. Okay. So there's our new line. K prime, G prime. I'll make a line here. Okay. All right. J, L, and K. Let's start with L. Or let's start with J. Here. Okay. So if we're going to start with J, I know J is at 2, 3. So I'm going to flip them, but change them negative. So it's going to be at -3, -2. -3, -2. Okay. L is at 1, 2. So I'm going to flip them and change their signs. So it's going to be at -2, -1. Okay. And now if you look, these are equal distance from each other, just like they were there. They crossed through the middle of the line. They crossed through the middle of that box. Okay. All right, K is at 3, -2. So now it's going to be a +2 and -3. And there we go. So now our image looks like this. Okay, so it's been reflected. Again, you can use paper and I'll send out a video for that. Okay, so now you need to do numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the ones that you have to do that I'm checking for points. Okay? All right, talk to you guys later.